and that are the remaining to complete the
alert
payment.
billing.
Oh, sorry. I think that's missed. No problem. So let's start. Okay. So let's open my vCenter. So I'm locally logged in, logging to vCenter server. So let's give the passwords. So first, what we need to do, we need to create the RDM. So let's open that vCenter. Then I will tell you the concept, and then I will show you the practicals. So while it is running now, because all these services are initialized, that is why it is taking time. So vCenter client, when somebody is connected to the vCenter servers through this client machines, so all these services are initialized. So it is a common problem. You guys know right now what is the problem. The problem is nothing. Just select any of the ESXi host. Go to configuration, storage. Let's go to the network adapters, storage adapters. Yeah. Properties. Just need to remove it.
You're removing the port group.
No, not port group, that storage, because sometimes the port is hung, but it's actually the problem. It's actually the problem. So I'll just again add this same storage to it. That's it. Then only you can able to see that path again here. Yeah. Now you see that all the data stores again available. It's a problem on a specific ESXi host. That is why every time we are doing this. Okay. Now if I go to the inventory, data store. Okay. Now see all the data store are currently working. Okay. UK, FR, all the stuffs. Very good. So let's open the host and clusters and turn on the machines. Turn on the machines. So that the storage problem is fixed. Now I'm turning on this machine. So VMware, it's turning on. So my first practical today is RDM. It's called raw device mapping. So what do you mean by the raw device mapping, and what is the utilization of it, and what is the disadvantage? So let's understand the concept. So general purpose, basically what we do when we are creating the space, data center space, that means data store, which is called data center space. Okay. When we are creating the data store, what exactly are doing? Well, nothing. We just have our storage servers. Let's say this is our storage servers, and this storage servers. Okay, let me draw the storage server. Yeah, this is storage server. Now storage team will give some portion of the entire disk. It's called LAN, right? It's called LAN. So LAN, maybe you can say, let's say maybe 1 TB LAN you need to create one data store, or let's say you need to create two data store with size around 5126 GB, something like that. So the raw LAN which the storage team provide from storage, which is directly attached to your ESXi servers, and from this ESXi server, this was added space as a data center storage, which is called data store.
So there will be a HB adapter in between, right?
Definitely. So if because if HB adapter was not there, you will not be able to catch up this traffic. Okay. So many HB host bus adapter nowadays modern technology is using fiber channel over Ethernet. Got my point? That means this channel is fiber channel and it is coming and it's connecting, through a fiber channel port, but ESXi also getting this through over Ethernet. Got my point? So here is the conversion going on inside. So what happened? The signal.
Physically where it's connected. I mean HB where it's physically connected.
See, physically directly it's not possible. So then what happened actually? In every data centers there is a it's look like this. There is a switch. It's called SAN switch.
Okay.
In the middle of that there is a SAN switch.
Okay. So in the SAN switch it will be connected directly.
Exactly. It is SAN switch. ESXi connected directly. From this SAN switch, it was connected entire storage cloud. Got my point?
Yeah. Or it can be connected via through the Ethernet directly, right?
No.
If the cloud is on, if the storage is on cloud, then it can be connected to internet.
Not only internet. If the storage is on cloud, that you are telling that it's a hosted on what to say? That means VMware cloud. Okay. In that case, it is directly connected through a VPN, not internet. Because you can configure this, getting this request through internet, but it is not publicly secure. Got my point? Every company, not only Nutanix, even Azure, even AWS, even GCP, every company is having their own cloud identity. Now you can, by default, if you do not configure any hardening, you can publicly access this through HTTPS like that, right? But in general, company what they do, they will create one tunneling. It's called a VPN, either in point to site or site to site. Okay, so through this private IP address, this cloud was connected. Now, if you create any data store inside these Nutanix or any cloud, so through this point to site, you can access this. Got my point? Got my point? These two are VPN, point to site or site to site. I don't know anything much more on Google Cloud, but as per this Azure concept, I'm telling you. Two type of VPNs are there, point to site to site. Okay? So, based on that, see, in that case, instead of accessing your cloud through internet, you can access your cloud through on-premises networks. Got my point? If your office network is 10.10.10 something or else, then you can access your cloud in the same IP address instead of public IP address. Why? Because it was connected through VPN. Got my point? Got it?
Yeah.
Through this VPN, you can take any of the cloud service, not only data center. You can create VMware over there. Sorry, you can create virtual machines over there. You can create virtual app over there. You can create web apps over there. You can create storage over there. Many things. Got it? Understood? So this was normal architecture. So let's forget about the cloud storage. Now, I want that one of my requirement from my database team, that they need one servers, that servers will be some application database servers. Got it? Now this particular data servers, they need 1 TB direct connectivity with storage. Why? Because data store cannot accommodate that kind of space. Let's say I'm telling you, you create one data store with 1 TB and allocate this data store only for these machines. But the problem is that these data, you cannot prevent other machines, they may become, and also the data something SQL read write capability, something depends on the disk IO as well. So instead of data store, you can go ahead with direct connectivity with storage, so that the direct log files can directly store on storage drive. That is a secure. If server is crashed, your data will be remain same. Whenever log file are rotated, storage team can optimize that log files. Got it? And there is no such cases of space crunch. That is the thing is called RDM. It's called RDM. Now in raw device mapping, exactly the spaces are coming through fiber channel switch to directly ESXi. But instead of creating data store, it is directly allocated to virtual machines. It is called RDM. So how we can map that RDM? Like once we creating the additional disk drive, in that case we will select RDM. Got my point? Got my point? And create disk file there. This is called RDM. And what are the disadvantages? Disadvantage is like that. This machine, once you create the RDM now, so this machine was locked. You cannot do the storage vMotion and you cannot take the snapshot. Got my point? Because disk was locked now and you cannot do the snapshot. Here.
So what are the benefits?
The benefit is only like that. The storage team, database team, they need one dynamic disk from directly storage, and in case of disk is getting full, once you inform the storage team, they will increase the space without any hazards. Without any hazards.
No, even if any database server is there or not, we can increase the LAN anytime.
Yeah, you can learn anytime, but thing is that it's a specific requirement for the database team. Like any mission critical applications is running, and that database, it's high chances to getting the SQL block, SQL command block, and that was the need a less amount of disk IO. That is why they choose RDM from this storage ends. Got my point? Clear?
This is for specific scenario.
Specific scenario, exactly. Not all time, but sometime coming. That is why to aware you what is RDM. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's do that. Let's create the same. So for that only, I need one extra storage on my storage server, which I using domain controller earlier as a storage server. So let's that's all are connected. Okay, so iSCSI, yeah. So create one disk again that I want to attach here. Let's say in settings I'll add 10 GBs. Okay. Okay. So after that I'm going to disk mgmt.msc. Make it online, make it initialize disk, and then I will format it simple volume. Clear? Now what I need to do, I will create this disk on my storage. I will map with ESXi host. Okay. So for that only, here SCSI use virtual SCSI disk, yeah. But that was recently I added. Go to next, and let's say it's disk 3. Next, so let's using the same, I guess, same storage. Okay, so 9.88. Same target, I will create the string. Okay, then go to vCenter server, and let's see the storage part come here or not. So how I know that? But before that, I have to check the storage was connected or not. Clearing failed, not connected. Clearing underlying failed. Yes, now it is connected. Okay. Now once it is connected, you can get this into your vCenter space. If you go to your, home, and if you want to, let's say, create new data store cluster. Okay, I'm just showing you, I'm not creating the cluster, just for SS something like that, and I want to see that space is available or not. Sorry. Storage, and let's say create add storage. Just wanted to see the space is showing or not. It's not showing. Risk and all. Oh, so same thing I need to do here, because this ESXi post is fixed, it is still not there. So let's do the same thing for English here as well. Okay, so this part is fixed. Now see that 10 GB space is available or not. So let's say rescan all and add storage. 10 GB is available, 9.88 GB. Now this time I will not utilize to create for data store. What I need to do, I will just go to VM, go to edit settings. And this time I will add hard disk next, and here the give your virtual machine direct access and this option allows you to see. This option is disabled. Let's see what is the issue. What exactly the problem? Let's see. VSphere HA virtual machines failover failed. Okay. So now I am going to edit settings, hard disk, add. This option is disabled. It is a license. So generally in that case we have to select these options. Okay, let's do one thing. This machine is Waze installed or not? Let's check that part. Might be Waze is not there. Let's install the Waze. Then I'll show you. Waze is not there. So edit settings. I will select CD-ROM drive, data stored ISO image, VM image. No. Whereas file, my file was NFS, I guess. Windows 7 all ISO, yeah. And connected power on. Okay. So let's restart guest. Once it is guest, restart, it will be catch the ISO what I have mounted. So it is allow me to install the Windows 7 on that particular ESXi. Let's wait for a couple of minutes to install it. Is that clear to everyone? I am installing Windows 7 on this particular virtual machines. And from where I am getting this ISO, because I kept that Windows 7 image on that NFS folders. From there I have mounted and I have connected the drive after getting power on. Clear? After install this RDS, I hope that RDM option will be enabled, because I hope that this is available on this particular free license. Hello, my voice is audible, na?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because last day we are not supposed to install the Waze because the data store was not working. That is the VM was crashed. Now that part is fixed. VMware it's available now. Now I am installing the Waze inside that, and then later on I will create the RDM attached. Okay, and then I will try to take the snapshot, which is not allow me to do that. Okay.
Hey, Siddharth, recording is started, right?
Yeah, recording started. Recording started. let's couple of minutes, then it will be permanently installed. Then I will take one snapshot. Okay. Then after configure the RDM, I again try to get the snapshot and tell you the difference. Okay. Okay, so hopefully my Windows 7 is installed on virtual machine which is running on ESXi host, and after that our next intention to install the VMware tool. Okay, and then I will try to create the RDM. So Windows machine configured successfully. Then I hope after that it will allow me to options to attach the RDM. Okay, very good. So let's minimize this, and then what I need to do, I'll go to the edit settings, and first my responsibilities is I have to uncheck this ISO image. Okay, so I'll do first device or data store, or I have to connected options. Clear? So that part I have done. Next is what I have to install. Yes. Okay. Install upgrade VMware tools. It's showing VMware tools was not installed, so I have to fix that part. And then I'll try to add. Okay. It's installing. Okay. So run here. Add hard disk, next. Now see that RDM option is enabled. Clear? Clear? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Now you see the RDM option is enabled. So now click on next. Now you have to select that LAN which was coming from your direct storage. Click on next, and you can specify which data store you want to stay here. Okay, so any one of the data store you can select. Click on next. Yeah, compatibility here, the compatibility mode you choose all apply only to this virtual disk, will not affect other disk running on LAN mapping. Allow the virtual machine to use VMware snapshot and advanced functionalities. This option is there. If you choose this option, then only it allow you to do the virtual snapshot, or if you do this physical option, then it will be behave like physical servers. So choose with virtual options, then only it allow you to give you the snapshot options. Okay. Earlier version of VM, this option was not there. Compatibility mode was not there. Nowadays 6.0 onwards it is there. Click on next, finish. So directly mapped raw LAN. See what is the difference. This is normal hard disk you have added from virtual data store. It's showing virtual disk. Now it's showing the difference is mapped raw LAN. Got my point? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Very good. Just a minute. Let me install that part, or else it's not allow me to do anything. VMware tool is just like a motherboard CD of the virtual machines. Like whenever you configure laptop, desktop, you have to install the motherboard drive. So VMware tool is like same for virtual machines. It is including networks, VM network card. It's including graphics, GUI, all those stuff. Clear? So RDM practical has been done successfully after virtual machine installed. Okay. So it's telling you to reboot is pending. Yeah, it's mandatory after installing the VMware tool. You need to restart the virtual machines. Now you have to, after configure the RDM, we have to check the compatibility. We'll take some snapshot. Will it allow us or not? Then I will do the storage vMotion. Then I will check that. Okay. So my machine is running, no issue. So I can close that options. Fine. Everything is okay. Then I try to do the storage vMotion because LAN is created. Change data store. Okay. So right now where it is on. I think this was on summary. This was on UK or was what? How could I know that? Where is my disk? Go to edit settings. Select the hard disk map. You will find out the data store is on UK. So fine. And what about my other data store? All are in France. Okay, so I will move that virtual machine, migrate to UK. So once I do the migrate, let's see what he is telling. Now if I select the machine UK, it's saying insufficient disk space. Got my point? It's telling insufficient disk space. Let's do one thing, create one another data store. So for that only it will be more clarity on this. Let's create one more disk drive. Settings, hard disk, and the size I'm taking it around 70 or 45. Okay. Let's create new virtual disk. G is, okay, then new as a virtual disk. Yeah, it is coming now. Next, disk 5, 6. 4, 7. come to vCenter. And create add storage. Scan all. Let's see that it was connected or not. Connected. Yeah, it is visible. Once it is telling me the connected, from then only you can able to add this storage as a data storage. So this is my DS underscore US underscore Bay 01. Now I am trying to migrate this machine yeah. Still showing insufficient. So here from I am just transferring the system drive. Got my point? Rest of drive will be the same. Let's do that. Because I am not taking rest of the drive, only C drive. Clear? So let's see. Perfect. It's completed. Now I can see that virtual machines should be US data store should be present there. See, relocate virtual machine completed. So let's see. Houston cluster. If I go to edit settings, data store, let's go to the browse data store. No, machine was not come here. Got it? Machine was not come here. Why?
Yes.
Because the RDM was locked. Got it? Got it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, RDM files was locked. It's not allowed you to do that. That is why in that scenario, what exactly VMware analysts do, they will do V2V. Got my point? You will do V2V,
Mm-hmm.
virtual to virtual. So, which scenario you will do V2V? Whenever your virtual machine having LAN, I mean raw device LAN attached, then you in general will not able to migrate your virtual machine to another storage if required. Then if you want to migrate this virtual machine to another storage, you need to do virtual to virtual migration. So for that only you need a separate license from VMware and you need the converter. So this only you can do that. Clear? So RDM concept clear or not? Next is I'll try to do take the snapshot. Will it allow me or not? Take a snapshot. Generally it will be allowed because I have selected the compatibility mode. Let's see. It's showing 2%, 3%, 4%. Let's see. Yes. Why it's allowing me? Because I have selected VM compatibility mode. If we selected physical compatibility mode, then it's not allow me to create snapshot. Clear?
Okay.
Snapshot is required because anything you did on virtual machine, if it is crashed, so generally before that you have to take the snapshot and later on you have to revert the snapshot from your, let's say I'm telling you, let's say you are doing some patching or let's say you are doing some registry changes of the virtual machines and now there is a huge chances that if anything goes wrong, virtual machine can permanently damage. So then you have to raise a request to your VMware team to take the snapshot. And that snapshot cannot be hold for a long term. It's having some retention policy. So next 15 days, VMware team has set the alert and they will start following up after 15 days. Shall we revert the snapshot or shall we delete the snapshot? Now you say that the last practicals were successful, nothing have any harm. So you can message that you can delete the snapshot. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
But earlier versions of VMware, if the RDM was attached, then there is no option to create the snapshot. That was the huge disadvantage. But VMware 6.0 onwards, there are two options. Either set your compatibility mode on physical or either set your compatibility virtual mode so that you will get the snapshot enabled. Clear? Now, if you want to revert your snapshot, then directly go to Snapshot Manager. And then from you have to revert your snapshot. Clear? Clear?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Next is what? Next is we need to learn the NTP. So let's understand the concept. What is NTP? So basically, our host machines, this is the ESXi servers, and on top of it, host machines are running, right? And also have a domain servers in your environment. Now my question, how that machines are getting time? Because if you are doing some international project, like your client is on US or your client is on UK, so in the month of December, you have to enable the daylight savings options, right? Did you ever receive daylight savings options? So in this daylight savings options, nothing, you just need to change your time zone, I mean times accordingly. So manually daylight savings cannot possible on the virtual machines, because if you do the manual daylight saving changes, then may be a problem. First of all, we need to understand how virtual machines which is running on ESXi host will get the time options. Will that get time from ESXi host or will that get time from domain controller? How? Any idea?
No.
So generally, the host machine, a virtual machine which is running on host, ESXi host, they will have an option you can take your time from ESXi. But we cannot take the time from ESXi, we directly take the time from domain controller. In that case, how it's happened? In that ESXi, there is an options called time synchronization option. In this time synchronization, we have to give them domain controller IP address and start the service. Once the services start, then we have to go VMware options, VMware tool options, and then there is an option sync time synchronizations. Once we check that all options, they will take time from ESXi, which is coming from domain controller. So that practical I will show you now. The practical is how your virtual machine will get time from domain controller via ESXi NTP configuration. Clear? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
Because this you have to enable that whenever the daylight saving request come your queue. That may be client raise a request, because all client cannot be literate in VMware. They have sent the request that kindly send that information to your server team to change the time, because daylight savings 4-hour difference will coming. So you have to apply the same setting. But in that case, server team will reply that our domain controller will give all the times to virtual machine which is running on ESXi servers. So no need to change the manual time. Clear? Now how the things is going on and how your ESXi getting time from your domain server, that's I'm going to show you. So for that only what you need to do. Any of the ESXi servers, you have to select, okay. Go to configurations. Okay, so for that only advanced settings, time configuration. So in time configuration, you can see the NTP client option is top state. That means whatever the virtual machine getting time, it is from local ESXi server. Clear?
Okay.
So local ESXi server also having, if you set the time, it will get the time, but it will not accept whenever that daylight savings schemes will start it. So then you have to rely on your domain controllers. So for that only, you have to go properties, click on NTP client enabled. Options is go to the NTP settings and add your NTP server address. That means your domain controller IP address. So in domain controller IP address, what is the domain controller IP address? ipconfig .10.10.10.10. So you have to give them 10.10.10.10. Okay. Click OK. Restart NTP service and apply changes. Do not forget to option this. And click OK. Now date time 7:28. It's still showing red. Okay. That means your machine, it's still showing backlog times. So again go to the properties. Start stop manually. Here the option you have to select start stop with host. Okay. Start stop with host. You have to choose these options and then restart. Clear?
Okay.
And then click on OK. So let's say okay. Let's do one thing. You have to which machines you are doing. Let's do some reboot. Reboot. Still not instruction coming to ESXi. So you have to wait, because vCenter send information to his agent. Agent push information to ESXi. Then is agent inform ESXi. Okay, let's do the reboot. So it will take couple of times. Now instruction come. Got it? Got it? Because
Got it.
vCenter cannot directly reboot the machine. It's an agent-based communication. So that is why I am showing you how agent-based communication will operate reboot. Still showing inaccessible because the ESXi is not permanently up. Up. It's still showing rebooting in the process. So let's make it up. Yeah. If you have any question, you can please ask. If you have any doubts, please ask. Because VMware team must have to enable this option so that they can receive time from domain controllers. Now, as you know, if you have a virtual machines configured in your domain, so domain definitely they will start time from these domain controllers. Now, actually the scenario quite like this. If that means, let's say you have a 4 domain controllers, 1, 2, 3. So in between of 3, one of the domain controllers is PDC emulator, like so. This PDC emulator actually is a time server for your entire domain. Okay. Now my question: how PDC emulator will take time? Definitely either it will take time from info blocks, okay, or directly you can directly take time from Google time servers. But in general, he cannot take directly time from Google server because internet was not enabled on domain controller. It is a serious compliance issue or security reasons. So in that case, domain controller will chase time from info blocks, any other time servers configured in your domain, and info blocks will take time from Google time server. Clear? Now enter domain, how much machines are there? They all time directly from domain controller PDC emulator role. Not all domain controller is responsible, but only PDC emulator will provide the time for every domain controller. So your ESXi is also a part of this domain. So you have to set the NTP client configuration ESXi so that all the VM running on it, they can have same time zone. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. Why that VM inaccessible again? Oh, so again some problem. This is have to go, configuration, because this is a very common problem actually. So we have to go with configuration, storage adapter. Now VM is accessible now. Make it power on. Now see that configuration is that Still it's having the same problem. Properties. Set date and time for host in the vSphere client local time. NTP client enabled. Okay, let's do that through web console. Might be a problem in the vCenter console. Or in case we can do one thing, we can directly configure the from convert temporarily USXI and directly give them. So 10.10.10.13, so I'll make them directly connect to USXI server. Okay. Now root.
Okay.
And from there I have to set, because might be it will taking time because you are trying to do the settings from vCenter server, and vCenter server might be taking time to do that. So why not directly connect to ESXi server and configure the service? Let's do that. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So for that only what I need to do, one VM is running on it. You can see that one VM is running on it. So I have to go in a configuration and time synchronizations, properties, date and time, set date and time host in vSphere client local time. The host will handle the date and time such that vSphere client receive host data vSphere client local times. NTP client enabled. NTP settings is already done. Restart NTP settings and apply changes. The date and value host have been translated into the local time in the vSphere client. It's taking a long time. That is a problem. Still it's not showing. Okay, let's open the vCenter console and try. And then try. Because it is happening now, synchronization issue, just like synchronization issue. It will take time and it will fix. But it is not taking one. It might be a problem in the domain controller and something else, connectivity. That I'm trying to doing through vSphere client options. And let's see it will work or not. Okay, so I have to go to host and cluster 13, and there is the options, there is options. Time synchronizations, NTP service status running. Now see that. Okay, I'll just stop it.
Okay.
Did you see that? It is in web portal, it is working, but in
Hmm.
client it is not taking. That is I'm telling you. Start stop with host. Okay, so this option was disabled, it is option was taking. So now we see that. Perfect time it is receiving. 12:10, 12:10. Now what you need to do, all the virtual machines, you have to go, yes towards edit settings, VM options, VMware tools, and then synchronize cache time with host. That you need to do. Once you've done this, your same thing will happen. That means AD server send information, time information to ESX. All the host machine will get time from all the ESX host. That means all host machine will get time from domain controller. Domain controller get time from Infoblox. Infoblox get time from domain server. Clear? This is how time management in VMware client. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So in a short, what we learned today, we learned that how you can attach a raw device disk to your VM, that is called RDM. Then we created raw device disk. We created one of the data store and trying to migrate the virtual machines after this raw device mapping. We know that it's not happen. Then what we created, we have done the NTP settings on ESXi client, ESXi machine, and we will set that IP address on that particular ESXi, which is directly taking time from domain controllers, and all this client was get connected. The time from which is received from domain controller, and the domain controller, because in my cases domain controller will connect it directly on internet, so he is directly time from Google time servers or Reddit time servers. Clear?
Clear.
Okay, so now next is it's very important. It's called alert management. That means you guys see that whenever CPU is getting 80% high usage, you receive the alert, right? It's sometimes it's getting the host mapping not done, you receive the alert. So client inform you need some modification that once the all host machine will reach after 95%, then only you will receive the alert. So in that case, you have to do some amendment or modification on your ESXi host. Clear? Alert systems. So in that case, you have to do. So host processor status. So if you click on the host processor status, let's click on new alarm definition. Okay. So first of all, check what is the alarm. Okay, what is your existing host alarm? So find out the exact error alert. Host connection, power state, expert host license, expert host timeline, email license, host processor status, memory status. Let's say memory status. So in memory status, sorry, this option, edit option is not working. Okay, so you have to create connection, memory status, new alarm definition. Edit option is not giving you. What my point?
Okay.
So in that case, you have to new alarm definition. Okay, so alarm name is new alarm definition, memory up to 95%. 98%. So you need, whenever the memory is on 98%, you will receive the alert. So here received memory high alert. Okay. Monitor which you want to monitor. Definitely host specific condition or state, for example CPU usage, specific event occurring object like VM power on. Okay, so I am selecting options, these options. So CPU usage, so whenever CPU usage monitor for host, so it is up to CPU usage. So let's say CPU usage high processing, high utilization. Click on next. Triggered, then option triggered option will come. You have to set your triggered, you have to set any or you have to set all. Click on plus. Host CPU usage or host disk usage or memory usage or network usage, what you want to do. I want to create for CPU usage, so find is above or is below, and what is the value I set, that should be on 98%. Once it is called 98% reach and stay 5 minutes there, then only alert will create it. Click on next. Enter value of the 90 for trigger host CPU usage. Enter warning values. Okay. So warning is, let's say 90%. Sustain 45 minutes. Will it not giving me 98% or what? I think it's not allowing me to 98%. Let's see. Enter the different warning and critical for trigger host CPU usage. Enter different warning and critical values of trigger host CPU usage. Okay, it's saying critical value triggered. Let's say it's 80%. So warning, it will come 90% and above. It is 5%, 5 minutes stay 90%, it is come a warning, and critical value will say and 94% or 93% for 5 minutes. Actually the problem is that we have to give them warning value as well as critical value. So both I am doing same, that is why it's not taking. Got it? So we have to give them after 90% you will receive the warning condition, and it is and 90% will warning condition, but you have to sustain 5 minutes then only. But after it is crossed 93% and it is sustained 5 minutes, then we will receive the critical condition. Got my point? So I am creating one alert. CPU usage, okay, and it is I have assigned this for host machines. Clear? So like you can edit whatever your client want, you can align alert accordingly. So this is how you can align alert part. Clear? Is that clear? Like you need to do storage status. So it is actually, see, all these alerts, it is assigned on, you can check that it is assigned on vCenter, not for any specific host. Now you have to amend your alert category. Okay, so in that case you can allocate it for the storage, like storage alert for 70%. If usage is cross above 70%, then alert triggered. Are you guys understand, right?
Yes.
Now monitor. Who will monitor? Definitely on host, because everything host is monitoring, right? Specific condition or state, for example CPU usage, like that. Okay, now click on next, and what exactly you are going to do, like here you have configured for CPU usage, but it should be configured for storage. Host this storage. Okay, host connection state, host swap ln rate, console swap ln output, host CPU usage, host disk usage, host memory usage. So you have to do host disk usage. Okay, and disk is, it's a local disk, I'm telling you, it's not the data storage. Local disk. Warning condition. So if it is sustained 25 minutes, it's allowed. But it is a disk usage, it's a usage, it's not allow me. Let's say if I'm supposed to be back, value is not coming actually. The problem is that, so local disk, it's not entertained here. Okay, so now you understand how you do that. Now next is, I'm telling you, event occurring, like host disconnected, network link error. So in that case you can also create the same things, like I'll just see that. Okay, let me check this. Disconnected host and vSphere HA protected VMs, like account created, like account removed, like administrator password change, anything events. If you want to configure, you can configure from here. Clear? like your host disconnected,
Yeah.
like host compliance with profile. Some, you see, I cannot tell you everything's there. You have to understand by your own, right? But I just show you that path where you can do this kind of settings. Like this kind of settings, you cannot change everyday wise, but it can be treated as your day-to-day jobs, because once you are configured the first time vCenter for your client, then only you will do that managing part. Even not all these users have access to set this kind of alerts. It is actually visible for everyone except root administrator, right? Those who are VMware SME, they only have that options, and they will have access to set up that alerts. Now, every day, sometime you are receiving that your host was disconnected, but you need one kind of alerts to your mail. Whenever host was disconnected, you need one alert so that mail directly come to your mailbox. So through this you can configure it. Clear? Through this you can configure that part. So this was alert management you can configure. Clear? Is that clear?
Okay.
So today I'm ending with here. Probably our next one class is remain. Okay. So in next one class, VMware will complete.
Next class, right? Next class, okay.
So next class, probably next week Sunday, I will not be available. Okay, because due to some rituals, I have to go. So 10, 7, 17 also you told that you have some urgency, right?
Yeah. We actually after 18, I'm not. I'll not be available.
So 24 we will sit.
No, 24. On that date I'll come. Means it's my return date. Okay. I think on that time on that day.
Okay, do one thing. So next week 17 we will start sharp on 8. Okay, 8, and I will complete the class before 11. Okay.
Okay.
So next week Sunday we will sit on 8 a.m. and 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. and then I will complete the remaining VMware class.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Enjoy, guys. Happy Puja. Happy Puja to everyone.
Happy Puja.
And happy safe. Okay, Aniruddha, any doubts? Any question? Hello? Are you there?
I think Anirudh is not there in the meeting.
Okay. Okay, fine, no problems. No problem.
Okay. Peter, thank you. You can share the recording with us. Okay.
Sure.
So that
Sure.
yeah, if we have doubt, then you will get back to you.
Welcome, you are welcome. Anyway, because you write down.
Yeah. We'll discuss in next class.
Yeah. Okay.